Hey everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is the live show I do every week with Kyle, twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We stream live too. We also stream live to each of our YouTube channels, Paul's Hardware as well as Bitwit. We do every Tuesday evening, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, and it's a good show. We talk about technology. We do enjoy a frosty beverage. We encourage you guys to have one too, of course, if you're of age, and always drink responsibly. And just a quick warning at the beginning of the show, we do speak our minds freely on this show. Occasionally there is harsh language and perhaps even some suggestive body talk. You never know, there might be baby oil and stuff as well. But
some nudity.
That's
just a little nudity.
That among other things is all on tap for 2017 Awesome Hardware. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys.
Yep.
Hope you're enjoying everything I've said so far. Not that I've said too much.
That was great. That was great. Let's just end the show.
Standing ovation. We should stop right now. It's going way too well.
No, that was a really smooth intro.
I'm trying to get...
It's all downhill from here.
Well, sometimes I feel like the intro can drag on for so long.
Yeah, that was very concise, to the point.
Like we're doing with it right now.
All the relevant info. Let's revisit that intro. And let's talk about what worked with it and what didn't.
I think the enthusiasm was there, really. I think was what came through, because, it's a new year, we're fresh.
Yep.
And we're also fresh since we've had a week to recover from coming back from CES. So that's been nice.
It's not long enough.
Yeah, but... Anyway, we do content on the internet, which means we could always use your support. If you want to help support us, check out our stores, buy some stuff. My store is paulshardware.net, and I have all of these things that you can buy, including shirts, mugs, pint glasses, hoodies, beanies. It's all high-quality merchandise, and if you buy something during the show, we'll give you a little shout-out towards the end. We're also doing there's no subliminal subtext in this week's show either, and we are not testing at all whether what we wear on the show influences what people buy.
Of course.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Nope.
If you'd like to buy stuff from Kyle, he also has a store where you can buy things. bitwit.tech/store. Your hoodie sale is still going on?
Yes.
$10 off if you buy hoodies.
$10. Not percent, $10.
$10.
Off.
Which is actually more than 10%.
It is at this price.
Yeah.
Also, the glasses are new-ish.
Do we have any of the glasses here to drink out of?
No, I still gotta hit up John. and get some of those in. My mom actually has a set, and I don't even have them yet.
Really?
My dad walked into the kitchen and he was like, "These are nice glasses." She's like, "Yeah, those are Kyle's." He's like, "What?" And I am just imagining him just smashing it on the floor right after.
Like, fuck that.
Our son's a disappointment.
Immediately shatters it, looks at her with horror. Like, how could you?
And just beats the shit out of her.
See, just another day.
It's all in the family. Yep. It's very dark to say about my own family. But the glasses are good, the mugs are good. Buy a hoodie, they're cheap. Do it.
Fun.
Do it.
All right. I guess let's just get into the show then.
Roll into it.
We're starting off with hot and heavy hardware, and I have some fun things to discuss about hot and heavy hardware. Also, shout out to Cell Processing. Our good friend.
I just sent him the doc.
He's in
Shell,
chat.
you should have the doc now.
He should have had the doc from get-go. I shared with him.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did you? Because I just got this. This is at this is 1 minute ago. This is at 5:32.
So I checked. It was shared with you this morning when I created it.
Did you get his right email? Because he's got two of them.
It was shared with both of them.
Both.
All right.
Did you get his third email?
I don't know. So you got to go into Google Docs and then go to shared with me, and that's where it would be.
Patronizing son of a bitch.
I'm sorry. No, we love Cell. He's in there in chat.
Yes.
Doing.
And if there's any other mods of ours in here, it's like Spider. I didn't see Spider, but if he's here, shout out to Spider as well.
Spider, he's fickle. He
got homework.
Marches to the beat of his own person.
He's still teething.
Okay. Raspberry Pi. Wait,
ooh, that sounds delicious.
It does. It sounds delicious. Raspberry Pi's been updated, or at least it now has a new compute module, the Compute Module 3, or CM3 for short. Makers rejoice. Because the Compute Module 3 provides twice the RAM, up to 1 gigabyte now, 1 gigabyte, and 10 times the CPU performance of the original module, the CM1 module.
It sounds like a lot.
It's a pretty nice boost. I mean,
10
Raspberry
times.
Pi has never been a computing powerhouse or anything like that, but 10 times is a nice jump up for people who are doing little DIY projects and stuff like that. Little maker space things.
10 times the potato.
Yeah, the module, you can see both of them here. The new one's on the left, the old one's on the right. The new one is about 1 millimeter taller, and they fit into little SO-DIMM slots. So that's how you upgrade it. Just remove the old one, pop in the new one. And the Raspberry Pi itself has had a couple updates in the past few years, like the base module of it, so it's nice to have this compute module as well to give yourself some more performance. There are two variants of the CM3. The CM3 standard, which is the Raspberry Pi 3 with 1 gig of RAM, ARM Cortex A53 quad-core BCM2837 processor, up to 1.2 gigahertz, and 4 gigs on a module of eMMC flash memory, as well as identical pinouts as the CM1. Then the CM3 Lite, which is the same as above, but it doesn't come with that integrated onboard storage. And then it also has this board here, the larger board that you can see, which is the Compute Module I/O board V3, which provides breakout board functionality with HDMI USB flash memory and a flash memory programming interface. The CM1 is still available, so it's not like it's obsolete now. It's just not as fast, and they have reduced the price. It's only $25 for CM1, and then the CM3 costs $30 or 27 British pounds. CM3 Lite is also $25. So there you go.
I've always wanted to do something. I wish I had time to do something with a Raspberry Pi.
You do. You have lots of time. You
No,
just need to say, I'm going to do this project with the Raspberry Pi now, and then do it.
I guess the only way I can do that is...
I only say that because I've told myself the exact same thing. Because
Yeah,
I've thought
so
the exact same thing. Like, I should do something with the
fun.
Raspberry Pi.
You know, we should do a video on it. We should do a collab video on Raspberry... Like, we do Raspberry Pi Challenge, and, like, whoever makes the cooler Raspberry Pi device gets...
It would suck.
They'd both be awful, but that'd be the funny point. And then, like, whoever loses has to get, like, a Raspberry Pi in the face. Literally. A literal Raspberry Pi, not, like, the actual board that would probably hurt. You can cut your eye that way.
That would be fun.
Anyway, I digress.
Cool. All right.
In the words of Jay.
Let's talk about AMD.
Wait, I'm out of beer.
Oh, you're out of beer.
5 minutes in the show.
Sorry.
I need more beer, Paul.
Sorry.
So this is a Carl Strauss beer that Paul so lovingly picked out for me on his way here. It's a Rec Alley Imperial Stout. It is 9%. You trying to kill me, sir?
A little bit.
It's out of love. I know it is.
Meanwhile, I'm having the old standby of Arrogant Bastard Ale. Fitting.
Always a classic.
7.2%. So I'm not too far behind you, Kyle.
No, you're not. But you are driving home tonight, so, you know, in the name of drinking responsibly, I will gladly take one for the team.
I'll drink very slowly, and I'll breathe air in between.
Ooh.
Which is the best way to... Actually, no, I have water down here.
I never do that.
Anyway, just pouring some beers here, so cheers to you guys. Wait,
cheers to you at home?
Be ready to actually do a cheers.
Whether you're drinking hard liquor or grape juice, we drink to you, and we drink with you. We drink for you.
We drink about you.
We drink at you.
And through you.
That's a little creepy.
It's weird.
Just penetrate you with a straw. Oh, right. That's very good. Good pick, Paul.
Well, you're welcome. Arrogant Bastard Ale, as always, makes me feel haughty and slightly above.
Haughty.
Above everyone else.
Hoity.
Alright, so let's talk about AMD. We keep talking about AMD because there's exciting things launching from them this year. The one that's coming soonest is Ryzen, which is what they're calling their new line of processors based on the Zen architecture that we've been hearing about for like 2 years now. I don't know, how long has it been since we first heard like Zen? Like,
yeah,
Zen.
First articles probably
Sounds
late
mysterious.
2015 or so.
Yes. So these super sleuths over at Anantech, this article's by Ian Cuttress, by the way, basically looked at some of the documentation, the information that was going out for GDC, the Game Developers Conference, which is happening at the beginning of March. And they noticed something that on one of these one of the presentations that's being given by AMD, it says these words on it: Join AMD game engineering team members for an introduction to the recently launched AMD Ryzen CPU, followed by advanced optimization topics. So the fact that it's being referred to in the past tense in this letter, join us for the recently launched Ryzen, would seem to narrow down that window of launch dates for us just a little bit, because we've already been confirmed by AMD Q1, which is January, February, or March. It's already January 17th, so we can assume it hasn't launched yet. And GDC happens February 27th to March 3rd. But the AMD talk that's being referenced here isn't on the schedule yet. They've just said it's going to happen at the conference, but they haven't said it's going to happen on Saturday at 2 o'clock or whatever. So it could launch as late as March 3rd or the day before, or it could launch before that. I mean, it could launch next week for all we really know. But this does mean it's not going to be like the last day of March, like the very, very final bit of Q1, as far as they could do and still say we're launching in Q1.
Do you think that was on purpose? Do you think they purposely referred to it in the past tense to cue us in, or do you think that was
probably
a slip up, right?
Probably not.
Yeah,
would be my guess. Usually this type of thing, I mean, who knows? Maybe they did spot it, and then they're like, yeah, I'll just leave it in there, like
someone will find it.
A little Easter egg for people to find. Like, I don't know, but I would say probably not. It's probably an oversight, but they probably don't care too much because, like I said, they've already said Q1.
They know it's coming.
It's just people don't know when in Q1. A lot of people were expecting CES, and it didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's exciting.
The article also speculates that GDC and the Mobile World Congress events are also the same week, so that could provide like some extra news going up about like cell phone launches and that kind of thing that might, just conflict with the AMD launch. They want to have it in a vacuum if possible, with nothing else happening, and all anyone is talking about is Ryzen. So that could mean maybe it's not actually launching right at GDC, but maybe beforehand. So it could easily be anytime during February, and March 3rd is only the end point of the potential range. So, anyway, still kind of cool. There is more information kind of bouncing around there about Ryzen. So there was this one, for example, which I brought up just because, I don't know, it's a German website, and I had to use Google Translate, and that makes me feel like a spy or something, right? It's Google Translate.
I know what you wrote.
This was meant to be secret. only Germans were supposed to have this information. Anyway, this article is also referencing that same optimizing for AMD Ryzen CPU presentation that AMD is talking about, but also refers to a mysterious, well-informed source from East Asia.
Ooh.
Yes.
An East Asian spy.
Right here. According to a well-informed sources from East Asia,
it's very specific.
Perhaps person, or perhaps more than one person in East Asia.
Why do they need to mention that it's from East Asia?
I don't know. Because if you're citing a source, you're like, this person said it, and like, they work at AMD or something. Or if you're like, they wanted to remain anonymous, but it seems vague. East Asian. They're from East Asia.
Like, is that supposed to give any more or less credit to them as a source?
East Asians would not lie about this.
Just take that for what you will. Take that as what you will, and we're not gonna.
Anyway, but according to this East Asian source. They're actually going to do a performance on February 28th, or perhaps like an event or something where they actually launch it. So, maybe also alongside GDC or something like that. Who knows? GDC's in San Francisco, by the way.
Yep.
So there's that.
Oh boy.
And they're also just pointing out the fact that I never even showed this. Did I show this article? Or did I switch back from it? I might not have.
Meh.
Whatever. There it is.
Meh.
From heis.de. The German website, uncovering all the tech.
Yes.
Scuttlebutt. Okay, and then one other bit about Ryzen, just because it's all very exciting and whatnot. This one's from WCCF Tech.
We love them. Is that what you're about to say?
I don't know why, but for some reason, WCCF reminded me of a quote from like Lois Griffin in Family Guy at one point. She's talking about like a famous singer or something like that, and she's like, he's the kind of guy you hate until he's the kind of guy you hate until he's inside you. I don't know why that line stuck with me. I don't know why it applies here. I don't even know why I'm saying this at all.
WCCF Tech inside of you right now, Paul?
I don't know. Just
Are there words penetrating your soul?
I met Keith at CES, is all I'm saying. So
he got inside.
I'll leave it at that.
Anyway,
talking about four core Ryzen CPUs, because the Summit Ridge one they've been talking about is an 8-core 16-thread CPU, but they haven't said that there aren't going to be other versions, and this article seems to be indicating that yes, there will be. And this one also has just a bulletproof source. This tweet.
Canard PC Hardware?
From Canard PC Hardware, which I believe it's a French website. I don't know if it's Canadian. Canard.
It's like the derpy version of Hardware Canucks. Hardware Canards.
Anyway, they tweeted this. This website tweeted this.
Translate that, Paul.
Which means WCCF Tech article, and everything's all choppy. What's wrong with your computer?
What? My computer's fine. It's never done this before.
One of these websites. Oh, it's tweaked down. It's fucking tweaked down.
It's always tweaked down.
Tab is refreshing and looking all slow.
We've got like 20 tabs open and they're all fine, but then you see the TweetTab article, it's got this like little revolving loading circle.
What do you know? I can scroll up and down again. All right, sorry. All right, let's try to get back. Let's try to back on topic here. Okay, so according to that tweet, they're going to have 4-core, 4-thread Ryzen CPUs. That's really all the tweet said, and really everything else in this WCCF Tech article by Khalid Moammar is just using derived information from what we already know about Ryzen as a whole and applying to that to the theory that there are 4-core, 4-thread versions of Ryzen. So, I guess the other additional information is that it's a 45-watt part. 45-watt TDP, which is actually
more on the budget side as well.
Yeah, so a 4-core, 4-thread Ryzen would probably pair up and compete with Intel Core i3 and Core i5 processors.
Okay.
So for instance, the 7350K, which right now sells for about $180, which is too much money, a 4-core, 4-thread Ryzen CPU, like I don't know, in the $150-ish range, should, in multi-threaded applications, kind of be able to beat that out or something like that. So
sure.
Who knows? Who knows for sure?
Hopefully for
but
cheaper.
Yeah, this wouldn't have multi-threading, no simultaneous multi-threading, and then of course all the other Ryzen CPU stuff should apply since it is a Ryzen CPU. So unlocked multipliers for full overclocking on any chip based on that. It would only need the motherboard chipset support in order to allow overclocking. So X370 or B350 chipset AM4 motherboards. It should also have a base clock of at least 3.4 gigahertz because AMD has also said all the Ryzen chips will have that.
Yeah.
And then it's still unclear then, if they are making a 4-core part, are they going to make like a 6-core part? I hope they do, and I think they should, and I think it will give them more segmentation. And if they have 4-core 4-thread, 4-core 8-thread, 6-core 6-thread, 6-core 12-thread, then I think that would give them a nice sort of set of stuff to sort of slot in different places. And
the Intel model.
Believe it or not, before I even looked up any of this stuff, I actually have a video that I'm going to be doing later this week that discusses a lot of these sort of potential stuffs right now.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that. Should be kind of interesting. Who knows?
Cool.
And yeah. The only other thing they mentioned is that it should also have XFR, extended frequency range, the automatic overclocking thing that Ryzen is supposed to do. Upgrade from like a shitty stock cooler to like, you know, a $50 nicer air cooler, and your CPU should just overclock itself to get faster and still live within... We don't know exactly how it's going to work. But
I'll never touch the BIOS again.
That's kind of what it seems like, but I don't know. That's what I'm going to be really curious about when Ryzen actually launches, is the comparisons between like people going in and doing manual stuff versus whatever it does by itself.
Yeah.
Okay. I need more beer.
That should be fun. I would love to see a 7350K killer. Especially, it'd be nice at 45-watt TDP, because that'd be impressive, because I think the 7350K is at 60 watts. So if it can outperform that with a lower demand on power, that's pretty nice.
That'd be sweet.
Hopefully cheaper.
All right, sorry. Let's talk about a potential alternative to the 7350K, or at least one that's been getting a lot of buzz and talking about this week from the recently launched set of Kaby Lake processors. I'm actually not sure if this one's available yet. The 7350K, you can't buy it yet, can you? Right?
Yeah, you can.
You can buy it?
I saw it on
Is that for
Amazon.
sale?
Yeah.
I know it was going to be delayed a little bit compared to the other Kaby Lake SKUs.
I think I saw it.
All right, so this one should be available for sale then too.
We'll check.
If the 73... well, also check... All right, so check for the G4560. The G4560 is a Pentium. So it doesn't even... It's not even, according to Intel, good enough to get slapped with an i3 monitor.
G4560.
Yeah, G4560.
Oh,
That is a 4600 and a 4500.
Doesn't look like I have
All right,
it.
so maybe it's not available
Wait,
for sale.
4560. Oh, that's a molding knife. Hell.
What? All right.
Just happens to have the exact same model number. Nope, not on Amazon. But the 7350K is here.
Okay, so this one should be available. If it's not now, it should be available soon.
It's
All right, so it's a dual-core, 2-core, 4-thread Pentium. So it does not have it does have hyper-threading, but it does not have turbo. It costs $65 US, actually $64 US. And according to the article, it's faster than an FX 6300, and it's on par with an i5 2500K or an i3 6100.
What?
And the i3 6100 was fairly popular for budget builds with Skylake, and it costs about $110 to $120.
Wow, that's a really good deal then.
Yeah. Also linked in this article, and actually a video that I spotted earlier this week because it popped up on my feed, by Random Gaming in HD, and I have no idea if he watches our show, but if he does, hey, shout out.
Yo.
He's got about 85,000 subscribers, and he has a full video where he takes a G4560 and does some gaming benchmarks it and compares it to a 7100 as well as a G4400 as well as an FX 6300. And he finds some interesting results. I'm not going to show them all here because you guys should just click the link in the description.
I wonder where he got that CPU.
Yeah, that's a good question. God damn it, IBT.
Lucky bastard.
Stop it.
IBT?
No, your browser's locked up again.
Oh no, don't crash.
Don't crash, browser.
Get the revolving loading circle of death.
Alright, we'll give it a second. Let's just switch back to us. Oh, whoa.
Ooh.
That was interesting. Sweet.
IB times.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Alright, so... Well... G4560 is what I'm trying to talk about. Specs. It has a 3.5 gigahertz frequency.
But
and
no turbo.
You could say base clock, but it doesn't matter. I mean, because there's no turbo. So 3.5 gigahertz is what it's going to run at. No turbo, 3 megabyte L3 cache, and a 54 watt TDP. So, you know, not a huge amount of heat generation. Also has Intel HD graphics 610, clock to 1150 megahertz. Although, you know, in HD graphics, I mean, you could use those to get by if you don't have a GPU, I guess. And then also in this grouping, there is a G4600 and a G4620 that are a little bit faster, slightly higher clock speeds, and HD graphics 630 for $75 US and $86 US. So there's a few other steppings here if you want something just a little bit faster, since chances are there's going to be no capabilities for overclocking this chip. Anyway, let's briefly look at some of the benchmark results. These benchmark results, by the way, are all from computerbase.de, which is also a German website, but they've all been collated here by WCCF Tech, as they're so good at doing. At least they give credit. That's nice of them. Anyway, so value for money is right up there with all of the former very popular G chips, Pentiums, 70.9% according to this chart here. It's the one in the red. Better than an FX 6300, 6100, G3440. This is total rating of applications and games, full HD. And this is sort of taking an accumulation of all the games they tested and piling them all together. And here we can see speed, again, right in there in the same range with the 2500K and a 6100. And again, definitely faster than a lot of the existing AMD offerings, at least on the budget side, which are also very popular as like dual cores, or at least as their quad cores go. Anyway, they did a full set of benchmarks, so you guys can check it out. But if you're interested in a budget processor and their applications performance, they said it's 15% faster than a $90 FX 6300, 21% faster than a $60 G4400, 23% faster than a $150 A10 7890K. And then for gaming, again, 16, 26, and 26% faster, respectively, than the 6300, 4400, and 7890K. They also do some gaming tests here, and like some games, like if the game can just use 4 threads and it's not super CPU intensive, like The Witcher 3 apparently, like it's getting equivalent performance with 2 980 Ti's in SLI, matching like a 7600K or a 6500.
Wow,
so it's kind of cool.
Damn.
Anyway,
not bad.
So check it out, but maybe also wait for Ryzen. I mean, it's hard to say.
It's been
one or both or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want one now.
That's interesting. That's not what's supposed to be playing there. Refresh. All right, and that's all for hot and heavy hardware.
Beautiful.
And now, the next segment, which I don't have a lower third. Let me see if I can do this on the fly. On the fly.
No.
I'm gonna fix it.
Don't you dare mess this up.
Wait. Oh yeah,
Tales
from Space. There we go.
Woo!
Tales from Space is next.
Yay.
This should be a shorter segment because there's only a couple things to talk about. But SpaceX, yay, SpaceX. The SpaceX has returned to flights By the way, quick aside, for people who are donating in chat, thank you very much for your donations, and we do see you, and we'll be giving some responses to those at the end of this half of the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, SpaceX, if you guys weren't aware, we've talked about them on the show quite a few times before. Back in September 1st, 2016, there was an explosion on a Falcon 9 rocket. One of their rockets, while it was refueling, had to do with the temperature of the helium fuel that they were putting in there, and some properties about it that they discovered by blowing up their rocket. Accidentally, of course.
It was for science.
But yeah, but they've just a few days ago, January 14th, launched another rocket, a Falcon 9, bypassing their previous downfall of the explosion while the refueling was happening. They put a constellation of 10 Iridium Next communication satellites in orbit, which is pretty cool.
What is
there
that?
There it is right there. What are Iridium Next communication satellites, you may ask?
Yes.
Don't worry about it.
No, I want explicit details on
I can
what
tell
this
you,
all means.
I can tell you what those are.
Oh, good.
I don't know what they're going to be used for, but I do know what they are. Wait, I put it down here. Iridium Next satellites deploy a cross-linked low Earth orbit architecture. So basically, there's tons of small satellites in low Earth orbit. They all kind of mesh together and communicate with each other and create a cellular network that will have 100% coverage over the Earth's surface, including across oceans, airways, and polar regions.
Nice. That's
So
the rocket can communicate with, and
it's not for the rocket. I mean, the rocket's
okay.
just to get the satellites up there. The satellites
okay.
themselves,
Got
the
it.
Iridium Next satellites, that's what their purpose is to create this
Gotcha.
this cellular network with low Earth orbit satellites. So yeah.
So can I change my service provider from AT&T to SpaceX and get really good coverage? Is that
To Iridium,
the
it would be
point?
to Iridium, perhaps, but I have no idea who they're providing cellular service for. I don't know who you're going to be able to buy it through. This information might be out there. I didn't have time to get that in depth in the research for the article, but
Got it.
I mean, it's actually pretty cool, as long as they're not actually also spying on everything going on below them.
Do you know if the Falcon 9 rockets that are being used to deploy these satellites into space are also the ones landing themselves as well?
Yes, they are.
Cool. On the water, or probably not on the water?
This one also landed on the water.
No.
So if this video
Well, that's good.
will...
That's good news for SpaceX.
Yeah. So
On a side note,
and that's something that was a big challenge, and we followed over the past 2 years. Them having several attempts. They had some landings of the rockets. After the Falcon 9 rocket pushes its payload up into orbit and detaches.
Payload.
It comes
Overwatch term.
comes back down and it lands. And this is what SpaceX is all about. Reusing this massive, I forget how much it costs, $70 million rocket or something like that, to save money so that they can more efficiently put stuff up into orbit. This is how they will make enough money to get to their final goal, which is to send stuff to Mars and people to Mars and start a Mars colony, which I think is a pretty noble undertaking. That's what Elon Musk wants to do. But anyway, Here is the Falcon 9 rocket 3 days ago now, coming in to land on the what's it called again? Just read the instructions. The drone ship that it lands on out in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. I'm trying to get closer to where it's actually coming into land. There it is. All right, see the drone ship down there?
Yeah.
There it is.
Woo!
There's the X.
It's like I'm watching Apollo 13 all over again.
SpaceX marks the spot, and then it just comes in and just plops itself right down there.
Bloop.
On a floating frickin' barge in the middle of the... this is still pretty insane.
That's next level insanity.
That they can do that. Yeah. And there
Pretty
it is. Cool. Landed safe. So pretty...
There's a few $1 million just saved right there.
Yeah. Well, quite a few. More than that, I think.
Billions?
No, I mean, I think I could totally be wrong about
20,
this, but I think
30,
it's...
40
I feel like
million.
it's 40 million or 70 million or one of those.
Yeah.
But I could totally be wrong.
Astronomical amount.
Yes. It's... yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pun.
Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, now that they have done this and returned to flight, which again there were some questions about, and really good, I think that they were able to land the Falcon 9 rocket as well. They have an estimated $10 billion worth of launch orders coming up this year, so they're going to be very busy with the Falcon 9, assuming none of them blow up again. They have over 60 more satellites to launch for Iridium, and they launch them in batches of 10 satellites each. The next flight SpaceX has planned is on January 26th in just about 2 weeks. They're going to be carrying an EchoStar 23 communications satellite to broadcast digital television to Brazil. So any of our Brazilian fans watching,
thanks SpaceX.
SpaceX is giving you some digital TV
for your next broadcast.
Digital satellite TV.
Assuming it doesn't explode.
Assuming it doesn't explode. And then the one after that is going to be a SpaceX Dragon, which is their module. And they're going to be sending that to resupply the International Space Station for NASA. There's more stuff listed in the article about stuff coming up this year. Space.com has like a calendar for the whole year if you're really into like what the hell's going on with space and spaceships and whatever.
What's going to be in your orbit?
I was going to go over it, but there was too much stuff. I was like, no, there's like... It's like 20 entries just for
We're going to go through the whole year.
Yeah, I'm not going to go down.
What would you send into space? If you could send anything into space? What would you send up there? Like a person? Would you send a person or a group of people? The Kardashians, maybe? Or maybe it could be like I don't know, like
I mean, there's lots of
player.
People or things you could say. I would send them into space to get rid of them or whatever.
Or not even that, though, necessarily. Just
I'd like to send something into space for something positive, so...
Well, yeah. Well, removing negative things could be a positive thing for...
I would send the
Or show doc?
No, I would send the Dragon spacecraft so that SpaceX could free up a little space on their launch schedule.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, just trying to check some things off, get some stuff done.
Always overwhelmed by your selflessness.
I know.
Touching.
I know. That's all I could come up with. All right.
That's good. Works by me.
One more bit of space news here. Why does this want to know my location?
No, we're not going to send Trump.
This over from Japan. They have, in the same sort of spirit as SpaceX, they have this tiny little rocket. Tiny is relative term. It's tiny compared to other rockets. It's still large compared to, like...
Tiny compared to me.
Your penis. But the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency has this experimental SS-520-4 rocket, and they were trying to use it to launch a TRICOM-1 microsatellite into space. However, the rocket failed to reach orbit after its launch just 2 days ago on January 15th from the Uchinwara Space Center in Japan. This is supposed to be the world's smallest booster designed to launch a satellite into orbit, but they had a communications failure with the rocket, I believe, between the first and second stages. It's a 3-stage rocket igniting, so they actually on the ground made the decision to abort the launch and not initiate the ignition of the next stage. So basically the rocket fell into the sea. But when you're launching something like a rocket and you lose communication with the rocket, you have to make hard decisions sometimes.
Indeed.
Anyway, it's the size of a telephone pole. It's 31 feet tall, or 9.5 meters tall. You can see it on its launching module thing here. It is 2.9 tons and 1.7 feet in diameter. Operates using solid fuel, and the little satellite, the TRICOM-1 satellite that they're trying to launch, weighs 6.6 pounds. It's very small. And it's 13.8 inches... I'm sorry, 4.7 inches long and 13.8 inches high. Which is...
What is this? What are you talking about?
A satellite.
A satellite, okay.
So it's like
that is very tiny.
It's like 5 inches by 14 inches. It's like...
Damn. It's like a loaf of bread.
Yeah. It's very small.
Mini ITX satellite.
Tiny little satellites.
Adorable.
But there's lots of little satellites like that. I mean, I don't know how big the ones that SpaceX was delivering, the Iridium ones are, but they do launch lots of little tiny satellites, but usually they have to launch little satellites when a rocket is going up that's carrying larger things as well.
Okay.
They gotta kind of hitch a ride with something that's bigger. So what they're trying to do here is demonstrate a low-cost dedicated craft for small satellites that relies on commercial technology. Their budget was $3.5 million. And I'm sure even though the rocket launch was a failure and went into the sea, I bet they learned things. At least I hope they did for $3.5 million.
It's not a failure if you learn something afterwards.
Exactly. Always got to stay positive.
Keep it up, Japan. We believe in you.
Just like your shirt.
Hey.
All right.
Shameless plug.
Wait. What? Oh, that's why. Because that was a Tweaktown article and I closed it. All right, so let's move on to sword fight. What do you say, sword fight? Yay.
That's my sound for swords. That's my sword sound effect.
That's a good sound effect.
It's pretty good.
It really it really enhances the
been working on it.
The introduction to sword fight.
That's what I intended.
Sword fights where Kyle and I argue about something, and we ask you guys the question too, and you guys get to argue about it as well amongst yourselves, and vote in a straw poll, and let us know who's going to be right. We're going to lay some stuff to rest right now, because this week, the Nintendo Switch, they had a big presentation.
Woo!
And they were like, hey, here's the Switch, and they had videos. They invited a bunch of influencers from the influencer community. I'm saying that with a bunch of influencers, because we weren't invited. Austin was there.
I'm a content creator, okay?
Oh, okay.
I'm not an influencer.
Not an influencer?
Come
No,
on.
I just create the content. I don't like to influence
That is
people.
so beneath me.
Anyway, the Switch is actually going to be shipping out to people March 3rd, so not too long. Pre-orders have gone up. I heard that it was fairly easy to get a pre-order earlier on, but I believe most places are sold out now. So if you weren't on top of it within the first 12 hours or so,
you're SOL.
You are SOL.
Unless you want to pay like $500 on eBay.
Yeah, the eBay's
damn scalpers.
Stupid. They're terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I watched Austin's video on this, and I read a couple more things about it. The Switch seems pretty cool. I mean, I like it because they took the form factor and they did stuff with it that like you couldn't duplicate with like a system that you build yourself. Because you got the controllers on the side that can pop off, and you have the console is the tablet itself. You can take it and move it around with stuff. I like one of the things I liked about it was local LAN connections. It's got 802.11 AC Wi-Fi.
So you can have a LAN party.
You can have I think you can have up to eight of them will network with each other. So you can have a bunch of people that all come together and basically have a Switch LAN party.
That's one thing Nintendo's always kind of like stayed true with, is like having like multiple people in a single room as opposed to just always trying to make everything online multiplayer.
Yeah.
They like to bring people physically together in the same space. I'm glad that they're sticking to their guns because honestly, we have enough consoles already that do everything else besides that, so that's nice that they're diversifying a little bit.
Get people up and moving around. I mean, even built in, even if your friend doesn't have a Switch, you can each take one of the controllers and kind of use them as standard handheld controllers. They're motion tracking as well, so there's different motion tracking stuff you can do with them, and it just seems kind of fun. There are detracting things that have been said about it though, because Nintendo is also creating an online service for connecting people up to play games. Mm-hmm. It will be required for certain games for online connection and online play.
Sure.
And it will cost money at some point. Not right now. It's going to be free for sign up at launch on March 3rd, but eventually you're going to have to pay for it. And we don't know how much it's going to cost. Speculation I've seen says probably $10 to $15 a month. Which a lot of people who are used to paying for online gaming services, it would be within that range. Unless, of course, you use Steam and you're a PC gamer. Anyway, the perks of the online service are access to games online, of course. You do get potentially free Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo games every month. That's not been clarified too much, whether you're going to get one of each or they're just going to choose one from that entire catalog. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be a game that you just get and have forever. You'll be able to play that game for the month and then it goes away. Or they'll probably be like, hey, you can buy this and keep it permanently, or maybe they'll have a discount on it. Who knows? But it does give Nintendo some time to flesh out the system, to get everything working online-wise.
Right.
Before they actually, say, now you got to pay money for it, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have two straw polls. I'm gonna copy them and paste them in chat, and Kyle and I are gonna argue about them real quick.
Cool.
They're both about the Switch. First one's just pretty straightforward.
I will win.
I'm not logged in. Can you do Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not logged in on this computer.
I got this. Should you buy a Nintendo Switch?
Back.
Doing it in Twitch.
Cool.
Doing it. Oh God,
right.
Yes. I just pasted it like 1,000 times.
I always think it's interesting because we have an audience that I think is primarily wow, you did paste that many times. We have an audience that's primarily focused, I think, on PC gaming. But we also have a lot of people who are just into gaming in general. And I know, saying like I play games on PC doesn't mean you never play games on anything else. So, should you buy a Nintendo Switch? Is this something that could possibly supplement your array of gaming paraphernalia, to enhance your living room gaming experience, perhaps? And I don't know why the hell Strawpoll can't do apostrophes. This is supposed to be an apostrophe. I've given up doing quotation marks, but you can't even do I'm trying to be
grammatically correct. And
it's IT''S. It is a unique and innovative gaming platform.
It's 2017. It's 2017. It's the latest age of the internet and of technology, cutting edge, all the things. We have TVs that are no thicker than my pinky, yet we can't get a website to fucking register a goddamn...
Hold on, Kyle. You need to save up, bottle that, use it to argue one of these subjects. Should people get a Switch? Yes or no? What's your go with your gut.
Gut?
What was your feeling when you first saw it? Was it going to be like I need that? I want that, or
It's it's hard for me because if I didn't do what I do, which is YouTube, and I wasn't working all the time, 70-hour weeks, then I would totally get one. I would get one in a heartbeat. It would be a no-brainer. It's an aggressive price point for a console these days. It offers something a little bit different and fresh.
A lot of people say Are you arguing yet? Or are you still debating?
I'm arguing. I'm saying no. Nintendo sucks.
No, you shouldn't get it.
Even though I'm really entering this argument, my argument with the opposite kind of.
And as you're arguing, the $300 price tag, by the way.
Pass. Okay, yeah.
Xbox One S. And I think PlayStation 4 as well. 4? You can get less than that.
Really? For $350 or something?
I just got a new Xbox One for $250.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
Well then, shit. Yeah.
Prices
even more reason to not get a
consoles.
Nintendo Switch.
All right.
For me personally, I don't have time to invest in a console. I hardly play PC games these days because I'm so busy. So for me personally, I'm not going to invest in a whole other console that's honestly just really, really, really cut down PC. That has, limited game selection, things like that. The graphics aren't pretty. Of course, that's not why a lot of people are buying one of these. There are exclusive titles. That's probably the biggest draw for a lot of consoles these days, is there are certain games that you just can't play on PC or elsewhere. So unless you're a giant Zelda fan or something, you need to play the latest franchise installment of that, or you just you have a family, or you've got a bunch of kids that are just pulling at your pant legs and we dad want a Nintendo Switch, fucking just shut up. All right, I'll buy you the damn Switch. Just shut the hell up. Give me some peace and quiet. Unless that's you. Why would you buy one of these? $300 is ridiculous. Even though a second ago I was just that's not bad. That's a lot of money, plus the online subscription that you would pay to play online. That's redundant. But beer is delicious. But honestly, come on. How many Nintendo games are you going to be playing that are online? How many? Sure, they might come out with the most multiplayer online games for this console than they ever had in the past. But how many of them are going to be games that you actually want to play online? Probably very few. Probably the diehard Nintendo fans and all of us are going to want to play the fully fledged single player games like Zelda, for example. Breath of Fire?
Breath of Wildfire?
Breath of the Wild. Wild Breath.
Wild Breath.
Doesn't matter. That's the nostalgia that we're looking for in a console like this. I say this as a kid that grew up in the 90s and stuff, and went ape shit over an N64 for my birthday, things like that. But we're not gonna pay $10 to $15.
We have two of these to get through, so let's wrap
$10 to $15 for an online subscription. It's just not worth it overall, in my opinion. Paul, go ahead and try to top that.
All right, so obviously I choose yes. Yes, you should buy a Nintendo Switch. I have two categories to argue this with. One is speculative, and one is more firm. The speculative one I will base on Nintendo's history of creating games that are just really fun. You can look at Nintendo's consoles that they have been competing with Xbox and PlayStation for quite some time, for many, many years. Breath of the Wild. for many, many years, they've been competing with these more hardcore consoles to some degree that are very powerful when it comes to graphics and that kind of thing. Whereas Nintendo has still been able to exist and even to prosper simply because they're really good at making games that are a lot of fun, and they're really good at taking implementations of the hardware and making it different. Which was, I think, best example of that would be the original Wii. That they came out with, because the motion controllers and everything, people had a lot of fun with that, even though the graphics were like pretty shitty compared to like what was available, I think, on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 at the time. They were still able to do that. And then the second half of my argument is just going to be, again, something that you brought up is, I think, kind of a negative, but sorry, I'm burping. Again, going along with just really fun games, the franchises that exist on Nintendo that are pretty much always really good. And eventually you just have to be like, all right, I have to play that, and I have to get a Switch. And it'll happen eventually. Because right now, obviously, Kyle's not interested. Because, I mean, you got Zelda. You got the new Zelda. You got Mario Kart. Mario Kart. Kyle's... I love Mario Kart. I've had so much fun playing the different Mario Karts over the years, and it's just, it's going to be really good. There's very, very little chance it's not going to be really good. But I think there's one thing that's going to change Kyle's mind completely, and that's when whatever version of Smash Brothers comes out on the Switch.
God damn you.
And then Kyle's going to buy one, that day.
No.
He'll have it.
Maybe.
And then he'll start pestering me to get one so I can bring it over and play multiplayer Super Smash Brothers.
That would make for a very good face-off, though.
That could be fun.
That would be fun. We would play that for face-off every week.
Anyway.
But no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I'm not a long-time Zelda fan, but I do get that Zelda. I mean, it's so nostalgic in a lot of ways, and there's so many conventions of the Zelda series that they bring back that's just makes you oh, I like Zelda.
It's such a wonderful universe.
And there's other ones too, they might. What if they do a Metroid or something like that?
Mm.
What if they bring back Duck Hunt?
Ice climbers.
Ice climbers. Legendary wings. Legendary. They're gonna have legendary wings on it. It's gonna be awesome. All right, let's see what you guys thought about this one. Results. No. All right, so almost half of you just say no.
PC Master Race.
No. That's a good 28% with the Zelda love in their hearts, deep down.
There's a lot of Zelda fans.
Deep down. And I came in at just about a quarter.
Because I'm sure a lot of PC Master Racers out there that are even watching this show right now started off as diehard Nintendo fans playing Legend of Zelda on the NES or Super NES, whatever it was. So, that makes sense.
Anyone who
Going back to your roots, remembering where you came from. Don't forget where you came from.
For sure. All right.
I'm drunk.
One more question here. And this one is more general, but this is about paid online services. So let me... Kyle, calm down. Don't lose your shit until you're half of the show.
I argue against this stupid topic.
Don't lose your shit until you're half of the show.
I'm good.
Okay.
I can flip it like a switch.
Yep.
Damn it.
Turned it on, turned it off. Can you post that in Twitch?
I sure can.
Alright, so that's posted in YouTube chat. Alright, so basic question here. Are paid online access gaming services such as PlayStation Network, or is it PlayStation Now? PlayStation Live? Whatever the hell it's called. Xbox Live. Xbox Live Gold.
Xbox Live.
Well, because you can get Xbox Live and have online, but if you want to have the good stuff, you got to pay for the gold.
Gold, yeah. Gold or gold.
Anyway, is it worth it? Because there's a trade-off, and just to preface and give a generic about paid online services like this, there's lots of online services. Generally speaking, the ones that get paid for will have a little bit more money to work with, a little bit more money to invest in their services themselves, and perhaps give you better service. That's the so is it worth it to pay that money for that service, or no? You chose the first one?
I did.
And you cheated?
No.
So I'm going to cheat too. I'm going to say no. So I don't know if because yes, when they are secure and offer robust services to combat cheating, surface new content, and develop the gaming community as a whole. Wouldn't that be wonderful if there's an online paid service that did all those things? But none of them actually do. So I will say no. Because all the existing services that are out there have had issues with security, PlayStation Network being hacked. You remember that one at all? Robust services to combat cheating, to some degree, but it still happens. Surface new contents. There's a big issue with. Steam's been accused of this as well, which is that the larger the game developer, the more likely that the game will be seen. And you have big game developers that crank out mediocre games, but who have the budget to get them surfaced on gaming platforms like this. And, I'd rather see a game because a bunch of people tried it and it got good ratings or something like that, and the gaming service was like, hey, this is a good game, you should check it out, then some big company paid the gaming service a fat sum of money to, like, pop that in front of me and show it as an ad or something like that. I think that's crappy. And then develop the gaming community as a whole. I don't know. I don't participate in, like, the PlayStation Online and the Xbox Online enough to, like, really get a good feel for what the communities are that they have developed around the games that they play. But I guess I'll give them that. It does bring people together and allow them to play together. But for what price? And, of course, we can look at Steam, and we can see a platform where, assuming you have a gaming PC, you can download it for free, sign up for free. There's quite a few free games that are available for download that you don't have to pay anything for. Team Fortress, anybody? And, like, obviously it's a good service because millions of people use it. And, it's not, like, absolutely perfect, but it's got a bunch of cool stuff in there in Steam. So, what's your argument for yes?
So my argument for yes is that, come on. All right. So, I remember when I used to be, this is confessions of a real-life PC gamer, when I used to be a dirty console peasant back in the day. I had an Xbox 360.
So you're saying you had some life experience to draw on with your PC Master Race video earlier this week?
Yes, exactly.
What did you use? Was that Heather's makeup?
That was Heather's makeup.
Okay, I figured that.
Yeah,
right, sorry.
But apart from that, she only needed like 30 seconds to make me look homeless, which was quite offensive.
Wow. Here you go, Papa.
Yeah.
Didn't take much.
Thanks for
the hair was already there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So when I was a dirty console peasant, I had a PlayStation 3 at the time and an Xbox 360. And I paid, of course, for Xbox Live to play online. And I did not pay for PlayStation Network because it was free. And I definitely noticed a difference between the two. I always saw a richer and kind of more cohesive experience on Xbox Live. I'm not bullshitting this for the argument, but I did see a little bit more just kind of refinement in terms of like the stability of the network, not getting dropped as much, being paired up, and the matchmaking was a little bit smoother overall with Xbox Live. And you guys might have had a different experience with those platforms, but that kind of left a mark on me where it's like, okay, I don't feel quite as bad paying a little bit. And granted, it wasn't that much. It was like, I don't know, at the time, maybe $5-10 for a month for Xbox Live. And I played enough online games at the time because when you're dealing with a console like Xbox or PlayStation, there's a lot more first-person shooters than there are, granted, than there would be like on a Nintendo Switch, for example. And those really tend to shine with online multiplayer that kind of exploded in the last 7-10 years. So I was constantly playing online with friends and and even strangers and stuff. And I didn't really mind too much paying a little bit extra for Xbox Live, and I just tended to find myself gravitating towards Xbox when I would play a game online, as opposed to PlayStation. And I'm not saying that's 100% due to the fact that I was paying a little bit more or I was paying anything at all for the Live subscription. But I think that it does make a difference, and I think that money is going, maybe not 100% of it, but some of it is going into the infrastructure on, matchmaking and making it a tighter-knit community overall for those gamers.
So you saw some return on your investment of paying that monthly fee.
Yeah, I felt it was worth it.
All right, well, let's see what you guys think.
Yeah.
Check out some results here. Everyone... Man, I can't, this was supposed to be a face. Why?
At GT semicolon at LT semicolon.
It was kind of snarky, you know. It's one of those little like those little squinty eye faces.
Yeah,
All right. Sorry, I don't know why it's like that.
No more of those in Stropple.
Apparently, nothing but direct letters, just letters and maybe a period here and there. Anyway, though.
Brutal.
Yeah, as expected, you got destroyed. I kind of got destroyed too because LOL PC Master Race. Okay, everyone plays Steam, and that's all you really need.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on the Nintendo thing and see what people say about their online platform.
Wait, before we continue, do we have any more beer up here, or should I grab one downstairs really quick?
I think yours are downstairs. Do you still have like a good third of that left?
I still have so much of this.
Yeah.
Never mind. I totally thought I pounded it all.
It's gonna be best if you finish that before you start your half of the show.
I have overestimated my drinking abilities.
Oh.
I'm a slacker.
Glad I got you the stout.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
Finish
continue.
my half with news, technology news. It's kind of what we've been talking about the whole time. But this is just random technology news.
This is just silly.
Hey, Razer Project Valerie.
Again?
Did you hear this?
What?
Did you hear about this? We reported on this last week. Razer Project Valerie, 3 4K display laptop that Razer had a prototype set up at their booth at CES. Kyle and I both did videos on it. It's pretty cool to look at. Pretty interesting concept. Got a lot of buzz. It was stolen from their booth on the very last day of CES.
Cold blood.
As they were packing up on about 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, January 8th. It was stolen from their press room.
150,000 yen.
Yeah. So here it is.
What?
Here it is for sale. On a Chinese a Chinese auction site.
Oh my god!
At least one of the prototype laptops has appeared on this website. It's called Taobao. This is just the screen cap of the actual auction itself. And if you weren't aware, Min Liang Tan, Razer's CEO, has already offered a $25,000 reward in return for original information leading to the identification, arrest, and conviction of a criminal suspect who may have stolen this. Are you? Okay, you're not doing
I've already done the calculation. They're selling it for $1,300. That's it?
No, that's not right.
150,000 yen. That's what it says.
That's not yen. That's yuan. Did I say Japanese?
I thought you
No,
did.
Chinese.
Yuan?
Yeah.
Yuan.
That does look like the symbol for.
It does. 150.
But it's a Chinese.
21,000.
It's a Chinese auction site. Yeah.
Okay.
It's about $21,700, or I guess updated to current specification, about $21,800, $21,900, which you might think that's interesting. That's actually less than the reward that's being offered.
It should be at least the reward, just in case someone sells them
I don't
out.
know. Maybe, or maybe it's a very savvy seller. I think. Because you sell it for just below what the award is, then people who might have been like, I don't know, it's stolen property,
You don't want to get
it's
involved.
sketchy, I don't want to get involved. But then you have this whole other group of people who are like, well, I could buy that for $21,000 or $22,000,
and then sell it back to Razer.
Turn it in for the reward for $25,000.
Get $4,000 more dollars.
And get $3,000 or $4,000 of profit. Which you might think if you didn't read the fine print on Razer's offer, which is that they don't have to give you the entire $25,000. It's up to them how much of that they give you,
depending
based
on how much information.
Yeah,
you
based
give them.
on how close you got them to actually find.
But if you
the
gave them
suspect.
the actual units, they would have to go full 25K. I mean, what
Two
how much
units-
higher can you go?
Two units were stolen. This
Wow,
this
that would-
auction's only for one.
So that it
What
could
if they're like,
potentially be
here's
half.
12, here's 12.5?
Oh, that would suck.
That would suck too.
That would suck. You'd lose $12,000 on that purchase.
Anyway, so the article notes
Bad investment.
that there was a lot of suspicion, of course, from Razer. They were worried about espionage and a competitor stealing it to try to figure out what they had done with it to build this machine or whatever. The article says it's probably not that. It seems more like just a sneaky opportunist who's trying to make a quick buck.
Just thinking, what if there was like a Paul's Hardware sticker right on the wall?
Oh yeah,
like
just
right
right there.
behind it.
Or if
the silhouette of your face.
If it was like
with
one
the
of our backgrounds from our studio or something like that. I was noting here that the picture itself, I mean, it's obviously in a different location than it was.
Oh yeah.
On the show floor.
That's like in a hotel room.
Yeah.
That's probably right at CES. That's probably at the hotel room.
It could be.
It looks like a hotel room.
I don't know.
Little floorboards.
But
Bastards.
it's probably not corporate espionage unless the other one of the two that were stolen was sold to a competitor. And then I was
That's grand theft right there.
I was saying the other thing to point out, in case you're considering purchasing this, of course, you can tell by the top of this and the brackets that they have along here that this unit in the picture is actually the one that they had out on the show floor.
Oh yeah,
in the big plexiglass case.
So that's the cosmetic,
which means
cosmetically accurate, but not 100% functional.
100% functional. It was doing video playback on there, but the one that they had actually gaming on, they had back in the room, in the back room, that looked different, had a different finish on it. So anyone actually buying this with the thought like to actually use it or something like that is probably going to get a prototype laptop that doesn't even work.
Right.
That is, if somebody actually even buys it, and Chinese authorities don't.
They will get the RGB underglow on.
They will get that
below the side panels,
which is worth it. Which is worth the risk.
Totally
in my opinion.
Totes worth. Mm-hmm. But you'll not be able to probably retract the side panels inward. Which okay.
I felt.
Which blows my mind. Like, how did they carry that away if like the panels couldn't even fold up?
No, I feel that was my thought. Was like they must have been able to collapse those panels.
Yeah, but just maybe not automatically.
It was probably awkward, and they probably had to physically do it, and it was probably just janky, so they weren't showing anybody that during the show. But they must have been able to collapse them down. Like, that's my guess, is that they were collapsing them down at the end of the show. They had them just sitting somewhere, and somebody's like, oh. So, like, and just grabbed him or whatever.
The gall of whoever did that is just beyond me.
They must have
the biggest cojones.
A lot of gall.
Lot of cojones.
Have at least twice as much gall as most people.
Huevos grandes.
Okay, the Google Pixel 2. Kyle and I both just got Google Pixels. We're very happy with them.
No!
About to be eclipsed by the Pixel 2.
I hate technology.
Not really. It's not. This is very early. This is very early information. But there are some early renders of the Pixel 2 that have recently leaked. This is from Tech Radar. There's a couple pictures of them here. You may notice it's got a G on it. I don't know. What
for
can
Google?
All right.
Makes so much sense.
This is a leak from China, in case you're wondering where it came from. You may notice the back of the Pixel 2 is made of glass, reminiscent of the Nexus 4. I never had a Nexus 4, so I'm taking their word for it.
Don't go crass.
It doesn't quite have that same two-tone color scheme.
No, it doesn't.
Which was kind of a distinct look from the Pixel, which I kind of liked, so I don't know.
The edges look much more chamfered than...
Yeah, chamfered. You're right.
They do.
That's a word that you learn when you start doing reviews on cell phones.
Or when you start watching MKB HD videos.
Oh yeah, that too. It's kind of cool. A little bit more edgy there.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Yeah. The biggest thing I think on here is that the rear panel here. No. The rear panel has a camera and fingerprint array. Thank God. I really like the camera. I really like the fingerprint array. Keep that the same. I think the biggest thing, at least visually, to see here is on this picture. You can see that there is a front bezel. It looks like the bezel's maybe slightly smaller than what we have right now, but there are apparently speakers that are facing the front. These are most likely stereo speakers, only on one side. I don't know if I'm a bigger fan of it being on one side or the bottom HTC One setup where it has one on either side.
Oh, yeah. Because when you're watching sideways for landscape.
Yeah, but I do like them front-facing. I prefer front-facing than the ones that are on the end or whatever, so that's something that's a little bit different. USB Type-C connector, of course. I mean, there's no way they would change from that. And then if you're wondering when this might be available, the Pixel XL launched in October, so the expectation, at least according to the author of this article, is around September or October of this year.
No.
So
I don't feel too bad then.
Still months away, but...
If it was coming out like next month, I'd feel bad.
Perhaps a Pixel 2 refresh in, September, October, November.
I love my Pixel.
It's a great phone. Really, really enjoy it. Yeah. All right, finally, last story here. Atari. You love Atari, right?
Yeah.
Play lots of Atari games.
Fuck yeah.
They're teasing a thing called the Atari Game Band. It's a wrist-worn gaming device. They sent out a newsletter.
What is a wrist?
A newsletter.
A newsletter?
Newsletter. Sorry, I'm glad I'm almost done with my
half of the hashtag show. Shit Paul says.
They sent out a newsletter.
A article?
Talking about brand new gaming hardware from Atari. And the gaming hardware, according to the picture, is like a tattoo on your arm, right? There's nothing to see. That's the only bad side. There's really nothing.
I don't understand. What is a tech bracelet thing?
It's a game band.
What does that mean?
All right, I will explain. Because there's already been one of these that's existed with Minecraft.
Like an actual band? Like...
So, there has been already a Minecraft game band that basically was a game band. I don't know if you wear it on your wrist or whatever. It contains a portable copy of the game, of Minecraft. And launch
just Minecraft?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you wear it around your wrist, and it's just got Minecraft on it.
So
but
you can boot Minecraft into
you can plug it into anything.
Any system.
You can plug it into a Mac, or a Mac, Windows, or Linux.
Okay.
I don't know
PC.
about a console. Probably, maybe not a console.
Any kind of computer then. Okay.
But plug it into a Mac, Windows, or Linux computer, and you can just play the game, and it's got launchers integrated into it that will work with any of those operating systems. It also has
like 50 of them, like 50 different games. Just wear them on your wrist.
Yeah, you just have to have a bunch of wristbands. It's gonna be the new fashion.
We got Silent Hill here. Siphon filter. Let me see.
Figure out which one.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. It also had, at least the Minecraft one that already exists, had a small LED display on it that would show you messages or animations.
It better not be RGB.
Something like that from the game.
It better not be RGB.
Well, if you want it to be able to display
Someone just said,
1.6
but
million
doesn't have
colors.
RGB.
Obviously, that's
Perfect.
the next question. So anyway, the expectation potentially that Atari, this product that Atari is talking about, will be a plug-and-play system, likely for Mac, Windows, and Linux, which allows you to play your favorite Atari classics on any machine you have access to.
So
Atari Classic games.
So Atari Classics, not just Minecraft then. You could have Atari Classics on these bands as well.
I feel like there would be little excuse to have something like this.
Just
like
limited
something
to one
as
game.
large as an armband that only had one Atari game on it would be a joke. Like
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
it's got to be like several, like a bunch of them on one game.
Like you need the amount of data you need to store an original Atari game is really minimal. Like
100
nothing.
kilobytes. Yeah. Wait,
Like,
so
I compare it to like I had a floppy disk. Like what is it? 744. What were floppies? How much space was on
you
a
get
floppy?
like a megabyte on there.
Well, maybe 1.2 megabytes at most. I forget.
Yeah, on the late
so long.
on the late version.
I had a floppy that had like 120 Nintendo games on it. It's like, and it was a floppy disk. Yeah, it was crazy. It was
1.4 megs.
Oh yeah, 1.44 megs. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
400 kilobyte. That's what I thought it was. There was a 400 kilobyte version that was. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's the correlation between Minecraft and Atari games?
The only reason they brought up
relationship
Minecraft is because there already is a product called a Minecraft game band, and they're basically saying if they take the Minecraft game band and apply that, what that is to what Atari might be talking about, it's probably a Minecraft game band, but instead of Minecraft on it, it's like all the Atari games.
They just took the Minecraft band and wiped it, and then just installed.
It's like an Atari console that you wear on your wrist, but you need a computer to play anything with it. It's just still. I mean, that's kind of.
I'd still
cool.
want like the cabinet, with like either the ball or like the joystick. You got some buttons
if
there.
You're playing Super Breakout, you gotta have the ball.
Of course, or like Centipede. It's not gonna be the same with WASD.
Oh, so many people with the 1.44 megs in chat.
I know, yeah.
Thank you, chat. You guys are on top of things.
Yeah.
Both chats.
They've got it. I know.
Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
Really on top of things.
They're shit.
All right, cool.
Some old timers.
Hey, this is right about the exact perfect time when we finish my half of the show. I think we're like really on time today, so cool.
Somehow.
Anyway, guys, that's all from my half, but we do have a couple shout-outs for people who have made donations. We're going to run through those real quick, and then we're going to do some shout-outs for people who have bought stuff, and then we're going to transition to Kyle's half of the show.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, hey, we're almost done, but let's do donations. All right, Automatic Matt donated $5. Hey guys, just updated to a 7700K Asus Z270E Strix 16 gigs DDR4 Corsair Vengeance LED 850 watt Corsair CX semi-modular PSU CM Storm Striker MSI RX 480 4GB armor. Any idea when the RGB Vengeance will launch and any changes you would make? Okay.
RGB Vengeance is Q2?
Probably next month. They're trying to get them out ASAP.
Yeah.
From my understanding, G.Skill is sort of leading the game when it comes to shipping out these RGB LED RAM modules, because I know Linus already has some, and I know G.Skill told me they're gonna send me some, and they're like, we're gonna send it to you as early as possible.
They didn't say they were gonna send me any.
Well, were you actively emailing them in the past week asking for it?
No.
Okay, well, that's why. There you go. Okay.
Jeez.
So they're like, we're going to send it to you as soon as possible. And then, like, the next day, I was like, there's like a Linus Tech tweet, like, look at these G-Skills sticks. And I was like, They gave him to Linus first. Anyway, not a big deal.
Exclusivity.
Point is, soon.
Shocker.
But I mean, memory is really a very simple thing to swap in and upgrade. So I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I mean, right now you've already got your 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance. Install that. I would say it might even be worth it to wait like 1 to 2 months. Wait for them to come out and see what's working best with the software. We already saw G.Skill RGB demos with Asus Aura software. I think they should also work with, with the MSI software. But, you know, there's going to be a few different versions at least. G.Skill, Corsair, and HyperX were the 3 RGB kits that I saw actively at CES.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd wait for all of those to launch so you can kind of get an idea.
I think you're right about G.Skill launching first as the actual modules, but I think Corsair will be the first one to launch with the actual modules and the software. Because I heard somewhere that G.Skill's software that will allow you to actually change the different effects and colors is going to be delayed after the launch.
They're working with Asus.
Yeah, they're working with Asus, but the actual Aura software implementation for changing unless it's been updated.
I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if G.Skill is going, like, what G.Skill probably needs to do is have their own standalone G.Skill software that you can use to manipulate
that's what
it.
I'm thinking, yeah.
But it should also tie in with the software for other motherboard manufacturers who they might work with. Like, it should work both ways.
So it could go either
So,
or.
G.Skill software that they're developing might be further off, but Asus's software might be a little bit more towards being ready. But
Possibly.
Yeah, all that stuff's kind of launching like now and in the next month or two. So, yeah, I would say use the memory that you got right now, and give it a couple months. Let some of these things come out. Wait until there's a few, videos comparing the software and performance, and close up on the LEDs themselves, like making sure that you don't have hotspots.
The Vengeance LEDs have 0 hotspots.
Yeah.
It's very even lighting, just like the Vengeance LED.
So that's cool.
Normal stuff. I think the G.Skill Trident Z has some hotspots, but
that's what Corsair told you.
No, that's just from video footage I've seen, but I haven't seen them.
That's what Corsair said.
They didn't outright say anything.
They didn't say G.Skill suck, but
they didn't mention
G.Skill.
G.Skill.
They were clearly saying G.Skill suck.
But
it's really funny.
They were.
When you're at an event like CES, because they'll be like, and our competitors, obviously. They're like,
and
why
it's
don't
like
you
there's
say,
only one other guy.
Why don't you say their name?
There's only one other competitor
say
that
their
you could
name
possibly
you're talking
be
shit
talking
on
about.
Okay, anyway.
They're a bunch of scumbags, these Corsair guys. I just want to say they're a bunch of trash talkers.
They're proud.
No, we love them.
They're proud of the work and effort that they've put in,
and they have a right to be,
to make a high quality product.
I have no doubt.
Okay, let's get through the rest of these. $10 from Thievy Chow. Thank you so much.
Chow.
I usually donate both halves because I like you guys and want to support you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to Kyle's half because screw him. No, JK, love you too, dude. Split the pay. You enjoy some blackjack and hookers. All right, well, little tapped out on that after the Vegas trip, but
you're splitting that $10 with me.
It will be put to good use.
$5 for you for the hooker. I mean, what does a $5 hooker even look like?
We'll save it. We'll save up
I'm
to
terrified.
it. We'll save up for our next trip to get sushi after Awesome Hardware at my house.
We should get sushi tonight, maybe, possibly.
Okay. $20 from George Hinderleiter. Thank you, George. Thank you, George. I love the show. Are you guys planning any low-end Ryzen versus hyper-started Pentium? Absolutely. I mean, I can't say exactly what we're planning right now because we don't know specifically anything about the lower-end Ryzen ones. But yeah, I mean,
there'll be tons of Ryzen coverage.
I want to try to hit the entry-level range. I want to try to hit like the $800,000 kind of more wheelhouse range that more people spend in. I want to try to hit the higher-end stuff that people are going into. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting because there's so much new competition coming in. It's really gonna
shake things up,
upend the marketplace and everything. So yes,
there's gonna be tons of
yes,
coverage.
indeed. Thank you, George. And finally, $5 from Kyle Berry. No questions. Thanks for the content. If you ever need gear repaired, give me a shout.
Cool.
All right.
Gear, like I've got like a
Samsung Gear VR.
Yeah, Gear VR. I've got an old cup I used to use for baseball.
Oh, you mean like an athletic cup?
Yeah, an athletic cup. That's gear.
I bet that's what he was talking about.
I'm sure he's down to check out my cup.
Most likely.
Johnson's?
All right, let's do Johnson's. I'm going to start. Johnson to Tito. Thank you, Tito. Got the mug, got the pub glass. Thank you so much for that.
Johnson to Sean for picking up a ceramic mug.
Sweet. Johnson to Mayed. Mayed, thank you so much. Wow, from Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi?
Freaking Abu Dhabi, getting the thumbscrew decal. That's going a long way.
Johnson to Lenny, picking up a CBU cooler. You got a hoodie.
Thank you, Lenny.
And heavy metal gray BIOS flasher shirts from Redmond, Washington. I've never been there. It sounds fun though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Johnson to Kelly from Kentucky. Picked up the English pub glass 2-glass set because you can buy them in a set of 2 if you don't want to buy them individually. And then a Johnson to Lenny from Washington. Thank you, Lenny. Got the pub glass.
Lenny is a double Johnson.
Lenny gets a double Johnson.
No!
And a thumbscrew heavy metal gray shirt.
Shout out to Will. Will G.
Yeah.
Will G from Santa Rosa, California.
Santa Rosa.
Our home area, our home state, for picking up a Stay Positive hoodie. Thank you very much, sir.
Stay positive.
And we've also got one from Kyle D. This is 2.0.
I believe that's somebody we know.
This is my brother-in-law.
Why is he?
Fun fact, my brother-in-law's name is also Kyle, which makes it really awkward when we're out to like family functions and Heather's like, "Hey, baby Kyle," and he's like, "Oh God, this is disgusting."
I thought you were going to say something else.
Thank God I didn't.
It's really awkward.
But thank you very much,
fine.
bro.
It's fine.
He's the one
Thank
guy,
you, Kyle.
the only bro I have for picking up a Words in a Circle glass.
Yay, Kyle
Thank you very
2.0.
much, sir. Cool.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Sean, a shout out to Sean, Johnson to Sean.
Oh, that's a double Johnson,
Got the mug there. Thank you, Sean. Double Johnson for you. Johnson for Jeff.
Jeff!
Thank you, Jeff.
God damn it, Jeff!
From Michigan.
Hey!
Also got the thumbscrew shirt in gray, tri-blend. Wow, I think the thumbscrew subliminal messaging is really working out on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to keep that up. And finally, Brian. Thank you so much, Brian.
Wow.
Also getting the thumbscrew in gray tri-blend. I love the tri-blends. The tri-blend, they're just so soft. They're so soft. So soft and pleasant. All right, guys, thank you so much. All you who have supported us by buying stuff at the store. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video.
Don't go anywhere.
Links to everything we've talked about in the description. A link to Kyle's half of the show for the second half.
Stay tuned.
If you're watching this in the future, you should click on that too and go over and watch that. If you're watching live, just stay what you're doing.
We'll be right back.
If you're watching live on YouTube, we'll post the link to Kyle's half also in the description.
Yep, go to my
Thank
channel.
you so much.
Bitwit.
Y'all great.
Be right back. Don't go anywhere.